Three people in the waiting room.
Okay.
Admit all. Let's see, start video. Sorry. All right. Okay, everyone, we're getting up and running. There we go. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Let me see if we'll give a couple of people a little more time. But let's see. Okay, view, I guess we'll do gallery view maybe. Cute cat. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Um, there is one more person. Well, 8:03. I guess we'll go ahead and start. Mute, unmute, mute. Okay. All right. My name is Ray. Thank you for coming. And what we're what we're doing with these weekly Zoom meetings is we're trying to get to that place of inner peace, the peace that passeth understanding, as they call it, where you can get in touch with your true essence, away from the noisy mind that is filled with anxiety and stressful thoughts brought about by the life situation that we all find ourselves in. And one of the major milestones of the spiritual path is to transcend ego, to realize that the egoic sense of self is actually not real, that it is in fact a fiction. And it's this egoic sense of self with its chattering, never-ending talking in the head that masks your true self. And most people are so identified with this egoic sense of self, they never get underneath it to find out who they really are. And by egoic sense of self, I mean actually what you take to be yourself. When you think, I am here, I am in my house, I am driving my car, I need to go to the grocery store. This sense of self that you have, I am here in my body, this is me, I'm in here, everything else is out there. That is actually not real. It seems very real, but it's actually not real. And so to reach the place where you really get that, once you do, once you have that experience, all bets are off, everything changes. But to get to that place, it requires a shift in consciousness, a shift in point of view that no one can do for you. And it only helps a little bit just to be made aware of the fact that such a thing is possible. Most people go through their whole lives never even suspecting that such a thing is possible. So if you're not even entertaining the idea of it, you're obviously probably never going to do it. But even after you know it's possible, trying to make it happen doesn't really work, because the thing that is trying to make it happen is the egoic sense of self. So the egoic sense of self is trying to get rid of itself, and that's not going to work. And there are traditional pointers that people give, and these pointers are just that, pointers. They can only point towards the goal. They cannot get you to the goal. They are the finger pointing at the moon, but they are not the moon itself. So the saying is, don't mistake the finger pointing at the moon for the moon. So if you remain loose and don't get too dogmatic and rigid, you can benefit from pointers. So a pointer about that's often used with the egoic sense of self, the unreality of it, is thoughts are. I'll give you several pointers. Thoughts are different than things. Oh, by the way, I mean, yeah, okay. So thoughts are different than things. You can think about a glass of water, but if you're thirsty, thinking about a glass of water is not going to do you any good, at least not as much good as an actual physical glass of water. So a thought about a glass of water, right, is different than the actual physical glass of water. So you can have a thought about a glass of water, and then you can point to a real life, real world example of that thought. And the same with most objects. You can think about a car, you can point to a real car, and so on. The self, what you take to be yourself, this entity within you that you think of as yourself, inside your body, driving it around, looking out through your eyes, doesn't actually exist. It's just a thought. It's like you think the thought I, but you cannot point to I, like you can point to a glass of water or you can point at a car. You can point at your body, but then that raises the question, are you your body? And that brings us to the next pointer. So the first pointer is simply pointing out that what you take to be your egoic sense of self, the ego mind that's constantly talking in your head, making judgments, that person was rude, worried about the future, thinking about things from the past that you should have done, running conversations over and over in your head about what you wish you would have said, all that kind of thing. All of those are just thoughts. Even if they're accompanied with emotion, there are thoughts and there are emotions, and there's an associated physical state. If you get agitated, you might feel stress in your body, but there's no actual entity that you can point to. It is simply a collection of thoughts. It's not like a thought about a glass of water where you actually have real life examples of glasses of water that you can point to. So they say that the I, if you look for it, you can't find it. It has no suchness. A glass of water has suchness. That's the way the Zen Buddhists put it. So that's one pointer. The other pointer, like I said, you might think you want to point at your body, but are you your body? And that brings us to the next pointer. Ramana said that the only question that anyone needs to answer is, who am I? And of course, if you say, I'm a school teacher, or I'm a mom, or I'm an accountant, or I'm a woman, or I'm a man, or I'm white, or I'm British, or whatever, None of those is the correct answer to the question, who am I? All of those are just things you do or have, titles. You have jobs, you have a gender that you have, a role in society, mom, dad, that you have. All of those do not answer the question, who am I? They are things that you have, but they aren't you. If you have them, they can't be you. So anything that you have is not you. There is a you underneath and behind all of that, which has those things. Um, and so answering the question, who am I, by saying I'm a school teacher is like saying, is like, mistaking your shoes for who you are, or your clothes for who you are. You take off your shoes or your shirt, then you're still you. You don't become less you because you took your shoes off. So most people don't make that mistake of confusing themselves with, their clothes or their shoes, right? And um, most people, if they give it a little bit of thought, will realize that they are not their job or their role in society. And if you give it a little bit more thought, you will realize that you really can't be your thoughts or your emotions either. You have thoughts, you have emotions. One of the thoughts that you have, actually, it's a whole constellation of related thoughts, is the I thought. But none of those are you. You, in your essence, who you really are, is something that is having those thoughts and having those emotions. Now, most people get so caught up in their thinking, in the voice in the head, so identified with it, that they don't even think of their thoughts as something that they're having. They just think of their thoughts as, this is me. My thoughts are me. So you have to step back a little bit to realize that your thoughts are something that you have. And so the question is, what is this you that is having the thoughts? What is this you that is having the emotions? What is this you that is aware of the thoughts? Now, so obviously the idea is to quiet the mind and get to this awareness underneath the thoughts, and to begin to realize that you are the awareness, and then thoughts which create the illusion, the hallucination of an egoic I, begin to arise. And then instead of being aware of those thoughts, you get caught up in them and become so totally identified with them, you think they're you. What I really want to concentrate on tonight, though, and what tonight's meditation is going to be about, is it's an interesting twist. It's an interesting aspect of this, because there is a way in which we intellectually, it's like an unrecognized problem. It's like a huge stumbling block for most people that prevents them. It gets in the way of realization because it goes unrecognized, kind of flies under the radar. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. And in fact, on an intellectual level, they can clearly see that they should not be doing this, but yet they do it and they don't even know they're doing it. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the body. I am not my body. Okay, most people can understand that intellectually. Like I said, one of the pointers is, if you get in an accident and your leg gets amputated, you're still you. So you know you're not your body any more than you're your shoes or your clothes. Another pointer is what is the body made of? Your body is made of all the food that you've ever eaten. Food makes the body, food becomes the body. So when you're eating your lunch, all you say is, I'm eating my lunch. Nobody ever says, I am my lunch. And yet you make, when it comes to the body, you make that mistake. You saying I am my body is like saying I am my lunch. It's just as silly. And you wouldn't say I am my lunch, so you really should not say I am my body. So that's another pointer. And intellectually, on a conceptual level, people get that. And so they think that they know I am not my body. So what is this problem that I was talking about? The problem is when you grew up and got conditioned into thinking that this egoic sense of self in your head was you. You know, it started out when your parents would call you by name, and you began to realize that when they said Ray, that's me. So the word Ray became me. And then Ray developed preferences and likes and dislikes and rules of behavior, and that all got added to Ray, the thought Ray. And so that's where that constellation of thoughts that I mentioned earlier that's how it gets started, and that becomes I, an egoic I. And in your early life, that egoic I composed of that constellation of thoughts gets associated with your body. You come to connect the I thought to the body. And so if you notice, whenever you say I, or I want, or I need, or I like, or I don't like, there is a contraction. You can feel it. It's like an energetic contraction. It's almost like a physical sense of contraction that you feel in your body. Whenever you activate the I thought, the egoic I, it has a corresponding physical feeling in the body. And so even if you intellectually on a conceptual level know that you're not your body, because every time you activate the I thought, the body gets activated because it's been trained that way to feel contracted whenever the I thought comes up, that physically feels like you are in your body. It physically feels like you are your body. So even though you may intellectually know that you're not your body, in a certain sense, right? You feel like you are your body, and so you act as though you are your body. You perceive threats to your body as threats to you. You take your body to be who you are. You behave as if you are your body. And because you feel that, if you hopefully you're doing this with me, and if you just close your eyes and just think the thought, I need, I need, I need, I want, I want. Most people just thinking those thoughts can feel a kind of physical contraction in their body. And that makes you behave as though you are your body, even if intellectually you know you're not. And as long as you, in any level, are thinking you're your body, you're not going to be able to find out who you really are. you're not going to be able to get in touch with the awareness out of which the egoic thoughts arise, and which then create the body, actually create all of the physical universe, including your body. You won't be able to get in touch with that so long as you're being distracted and misled into thinking that you are your body, even if you're not thinking it, intellectually, but you just are behaving as though you believe it because you feel this tension. And so, what I will want to do now is like a meditation that will help you to um, experience this I-ness, the sense of contraction in the body. First, we experience the awareness, your true essence behind the I thought, and then we experience the I thought and how that feels in the body, and then we go back to the awareness, and we're going to go back and forth a few times so that you can experience it both ways and compare the two. And then after you've experienced it both ways and compared the two, you'll have like something like a benchmark or a touchstone to to constantly refer back to. So if everyone is ready, we'll have a short meditation. So you should just get comfortable, relax, get into whatever meditation posture is comfortable for you. The ideal meditation posture is one that is comfortable but not too comfortable. You want to be able to completely forget about your body, but you don't want to fall asleep. So whatever gets you there. So we're just going to sit down and we're going to relax. And technically you can do this either with your eyes open or closed. I think for the first time you should do it with your eyes closed, because you're going to be looking into your body. So this it's easier to look into your body if your eyes are closed, so you're not distracted by what's outside. So let's just take a few deep breaths. Now, what we do is we just scan through your body looking for tension. Just scan your body and look with your attention. Look for tension. You're going through your body, looking for places where there seems to be tension. It's like you're searching a dark basement with a flashlight. Think of it that way. You're really taking your time and going through your body one place at a time. And so that's scanning the body for tension. And when you find the tension, release it. Just look, feel, and even listen inside your body for any place that has tension. And when you find tension, like I found some just now around my ankle, because I've been sitting like in this for a while now, and I haven't moved my feet at all. So I just realized I need to move my foot, and I release the tension from my ankle. Some tensions you're going to release simply by consciously relaxing yourself, willing the tension away. And when you release the tension, look at what is there in its place. What happens? You pay close attention to what you find after you're in that place, after you release the tension in that place. And what you'll find is there's like an openness, like it's an open space. It's a kind of spaciousness. And so you move to the next area of tension. Continue to look into your body, feel into your body, listen into your body. Look for some other place where there seems to be tension, stress, contraction, and release it. And when you release it, what is there now? What replaced the tension when it was gone? And it's a kind of spaciousness, a kind of openness. And so we just take a few moments, everyone move at their own pace, investigating your body. Be like a scientist doing an experiment, looking for an area of tension, stress, contraction. When you find one, you release it, you relax it. And then notice closely what's there in its place once the tension has been released. And if you want to be systematic about it, you can just go from your feet up your body, your legs, your arms, torso, up to your head. Just scan up and down, looking for areas where you might feel some kind of tension. Maybe the neck, and just release the tension. And then observe the empty space that is there once the tension is released. Now, after you have several of these places of emptiness, of empty space, of spaciousness in your body, allow them to connect with each other. Allow them to connect with each other so that you have like a larger open spaciousness. Just feel into the spaciousness of your body. And just kind of enjoy this feeling of openness and spaciousness that you're feeling now in your body. Now, as you enjoy this sense of openness, this sense of spaciousness, where is I? Can you find I in this spaciousness? If you look all around the spaciousness, do you find an I? If you've done this properly, you could open your eyes now if they aren't already open and look around your room in a meditative way, which is you see, but you don't label. You're aware, but you're not naming. Seeing is happening, but there's no seer. There's no experiencer making mental commentary about the things that you're seeing. Now, close your eyes once again, and I want you to say either out loud or you can say it to yourself, I, I, I want, I want, I want, I need, I need, I need, I have to, I have to, I have to, me, 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 I, 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 I. When you do that, what kinds of sensations arise? What kind do you feel tensions arising? Do you feel a contraction? Do you feel like a loss of freedom? You were totally free in this spacious awareness, and now you are confined to your body. How does the I thought feel? Can you feel the physical effect of the I thought in your body? Now let's go back to the open spaciousness. Once again, go into your body, feel your body, feel inside your body, feel for areas of tension and release them. Release the tension. Relax the tension. Observe the spaciousness that arises in its place. And move on to the next place. And the next place. Allow the tension to dissolve. Allow the open spaciousness to arise. And allow all these islands of openness to connect. So your entire body becomes filled with openness and spaciousness. Notice in this open awareness, there are no words in your head. Thinking stops. And open your eyes and look around your room and see without words, without attaching labels, without commentary. You simply see. Now close your eyes again. Become aware of your open spaciousness within your body. Look for I. Notice that you can't find any I. And now we're going to deliberately bring the I back. Say to yourself or out loud, say it like you really mean it. I, I, I want, I need, I like, I don't want, I don't need, I don't like, me, 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 I want, I need, I have to, I, I, I. Feel how your body feels now. Feel the tension, the contraction, the loss of spaciousness, the loss of freedom. In open spaciousness, you are expanded awareness at one with the universe. In the I thought, you are contracted to the physical body. So there's a loss of freedom. And so let's go back into our body one last time. Going through the body, looking for tension, spots that may have tension. Wherever you find tension, just release it, relax it. You may want to move your foot or your arm. You may be able to release it and relax it simply by putting your attention there and willing it to release or relax. But release the tension. Notice the spaciousness that arises in its place. Go through your body, find all the places of tension and release them. Notice the spaciousness that arises. Allow all of that spaciousness to connect and become open spaciousness within your entire body. You are the open spaciousness. And we'll spend a few moments here enjoying the open spaciousness. Right. So it would be good to try to hold on to this for as long as you can. It won't last forever. You'll go back to egoic mind. But if you do this exercise maybe once or twice a day so that you can get good at it and feeling the difference between the I thought in the body and how that feels and spacious awareness, you can free yourself of the unconscious tendency to associate your sense of self with your body. Even though intellectually you know you're not your body, it feels as though you are your body. And if you do this exercise, going back and forth between the two ways of being, eventually you free yourself of that physical conditioning and you realize not just in your head, but in your heart that you are not your body. And then it can become a permanent condition. So, does anyone have any questions? Hmm. Um, yeah, so I was thinking that so far I have not put anything on YouTube because it turns out that it's like it takes forever to upload and download and upload. And I know that I did it. What I found out from doing this before is that the Zoom recording does not even show your name. Like on my screen, I see names, but when I looked at the Zoom recording, if you're muted and have your video off, it doesn't even show your name. It just shows the mystery person icon. And I also know I had talked about not monitoring the chat before because usually the chat just scrolls by so fast, there's just no way to read it. But I don't want to discourage people from asking questions if it will help them to have a greater understanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording, and I'm also going to if you want to type your question in on the chat,